So what happened is that I had really bad acne. So I was going through a lot at the time in my personal life, and there's actually a few themes that I can look in my life that were very common. So at the time, I was about 16 years old, 17 years old, and I was a very skinny kid. So I don't know if a lot of you can relate to this, but I was about 125 pounds, 120 pounds, maybe 115, and I was about 6 foot tall, right? 6 foot, 6'1". So I was a very thin kid. However, instead of seeing the positives in life, I was very negative about myself and very self-conscious. I didn't feel good about myself and the way I looked. So I decided I'm going to make some changes in my life and I'm going to start working out. And working out was probably one of the best decisions I've ever had in my life. However, working out is good for you when you're coming from a place of self-love and self-acceptance. And unfortunately, I wasn't coming from a place of self-love and self-acceptance. I was coming from a place of insecurity and a feeling of an unworthiness. It was really insecurity. I felt insecure about how I looked, and I felt very, very self-conscious. Everywhere I went, I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin because I felt really small on the inside. I felt like a small, trapped little boy, and I didn't feel like a man. I didn't feel like I measured up to society's standards of what it meant to be a man. And I think this also leads to another issue, is boys and men now struggling and developing eating disorders, but also having an extremely unrealistic expectation of how they should look in the eyes of society. And I believe we all want to be loved and appreciated for who we are. However, so I started working out around 16 years old. I actually bought a few programs online. One of them was called Sean Nalawani's No BS Muscle Building Guide. And then I also purchased some muscle building programs by Vince Del Monte, which is an amazing guy. I love Vince Del Monte. I respect his work very, very much. It's kind of in alignment with what I'm doing here, but he really motivated me to kind of get my body into shape. However, with that being said, we need to understand the psychology behind our motivations and psychology behind our eating as well, which I'm going to get to in future because I am a certified eating psychology coach, so I can have a little bit of say on this because I know what it's like to be dealing with mental health disorder and dealing with bad body image. So it's really important to self-love, like very, very important. Anyways, I started working out around 16, 17 years old, and I didn't know what I was doing, so I didn't make much progress. So I was kind of looking up some free online programs. There's these couple of dudes online, they're, I think, African-American fellows, and they were really, really helpful, and they talked about eating a lot of sandwiches with like luncheon meats and some cheese and they didn't even incorporate vegetables, which was a big shame because vegetables have a lot of micronutrients. Now knowing that can help you a lot with your skin and overall health and well-being. So it's important to incorporate them in your diet. But, a lot of kind of unhealthy foods, go to Costco and get like the ham and you make ham sandwiches and just, counting calories, all this stuff. Anyways, I can't remember one of the guys' name, but there's Dave Ruel, Vince Del Monte, Sean Nalawani, and there's another gentleman that I can't remember who's a short, stocky guy, but very, very jacked. And these were the guys I followed. And I followed their programs to the dot. Most importantly was Sean Nalawani's program, the No BS Muscle Building Program. So I'm definitely going to give that shout out to Sean. Maybe Sean can check out my videos and see what he thinks about it. Now, I'm not really big into the bodybuilding scene anymore. However, I still work out. I focus more on functional workouts. And again, Sean may disagree with me in terms of that functional workouts are good for you. However, they are great for you. From my experience, functional workouts are fantastic because they help you build muscle in a functional way that can help you in the real world setting, where bodybuilding, it's mostly aesthetics and how you look. And I guess just to create a better healthy body image for myself, I had to completely eliminate that bodybuilding ego that I've created because the bodybuilding mindset of, creating big muscle was really just a way for me to cover up my insecurities. Right, so I was working out and I had no idea what I was doing. I was just doing some exercises I found online. Again, Scooby1969 helped me, Sean Nalawani, I had all these programs. So I was working out with dumbbells and, I went from like 120 pounds to 125 pounds. And then I think I went from 125 to 130, 135. And I kept trying to set the goal higher and higher. My ultimate goal was to hit 200 pounds. I wanted to be 200 pounds of solid muscle. Now, I'm not a very big guy. So 200 pounds of muscle on my frame may not necessarily work. It might if I really push myself super, super hard to get there, but to me, it's not realistic and it's not sustainable. For me, I don't care how much I weigh anymore because I learned to love and accept myself. When you take the weight out of the equation and you focus on how you feel versus how you look, that was a huge paradigm shift for me. When I shifted my focus from how I looked to how I felt, that's where I started to really see difference in not only my quality of my life, but also the quality of my skin. More footage, but I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Hopefully this comes together nicely. If you want to see more content like this, feel free to follow me on my YouTube channel, The Acne Clear Chef, where I show people how to cook real whole food recipes to help them clear up their skin. Again, real whole food recipes that can help you nourish you from the inside out. Remember, they are nutrient dense foods. So the nutrient dense foods, all my recipes are nutrient dense. They eliminate completely and reduce potential trigger foods, which are the substances and the food sources that can trigger acne, which is gluten, dairy, wheat, corn, and soy, and eggs. Now, there may be other foods that you are potentially allergic to, so that's something to also consider. So if you're allergic to maybe shellfish or eggs, then obviously you don't want to eat those foods. So don't eat foods that you're obviously not allergic to, because you know you can have an anaphylactic shock. But these foods that are trigger foods, you may not be allergic to them, but they're potentially triggering because they are highly inflammatory. From studies shown that gluten and dairy, especially gluten and wheat, are very inflammatory. If I have gluten and dairy in my diet, I get very irritable and I'm not a nice person. I'm a very nasty person. I get angry a lot. And I had a lot of anger growing up as a kid, and I didn't know where my anger came from. So the root cause of my anger was from excess gluten in my diet, because I have a sensitive body and my body it doesn't digest gluten, or it just gluten irritates my physiology. So, I had a lot of irritability. I was angry. I was just depressed, but really just full of anger all the time. And I blamed gluten for that, and gluten was the cause for me. As soon as I eliminated that, I started feeling less irritable and I felt more happy. And that's the thing. You want to feel happy, and you can do that by changing what you eat. So if you want to feel happier, guys, if you want to feel happier about yourself and you want to have nice skin, then cut gluten out of your diet. And it's possible. You can do it with my Acne Clear recipes. Check out my Acne Clear recipes. There's a list of them. You can find 1 or 2 or 3 that you can cook on a consistent basis. Rotate your meals, rotate your protein, rotate your nutrition. Make sure you're getting a variety of fruits and vegetables in your diet. And I promise you, you're going to be on the right road to success when it comes to clearing up your skin. So thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope this was useful. I hope it was informative. Again, if you like and subscribe if you like the video, like and subscribe. And yeah, feel free to support me. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I will answer your questions and I will get to them. And if you have any more deep concerns, I'll try to make more videos based off your concerns and questions, so we can further elaborate on my Acne Clear diet or Acne Clear lifestyle, and helping you become the healthiest, happiest, and most self-expressed self. Thanks for watching.